up on Art House today. A group exhibition at a gallery in an institution. Then what's the connection between art and cycles? A contemporary artist links the dots. We have that and more on this edition of the program. A warm welcome. I'm Melinda Akinlami.
Women should not be suppressed because they are women, because they have children. Literature has to be combative.
Let's begin with this group art show at the Lagoon Gallery at the University of Lagos, done by young artists. It's called Genesis.
In partial fulfillment of their curatorial studies, designed to prepare these budding artists for the future, Genesis, People and Places is a juried art exhibition at the Lagoon Gallery featuring Year 2 students from the Visual Art Unit in the Department of Creative Arts, University of Lagos.
Genesis is an exhibition by the 200 level students of the Visual Arts Unit. This is a course and it's titled Curatorial Practice. We have gone this far so that they can understand the dynamics of staging an exhibition. Somebody said, if you don't know the rules, you will always lose playing the game. So this is for them to understand the rules. I'm sure by now they know where to frame their works, how to plan an exhibition catalog, how to get involved with the media, both print and the others. So they know what to do at 200 level. So by the time they're in 300 and 400 level, they understand the commercial aspects of art. Because I believe that if the skill does not pay the bills, then the skill is not useful.
I'm so elated by seeing all these works I'm seeing here today. And for the fact that they have been put together by students, it's a good development that we have institutions like UNILAG, Creative Arts Department of UNILAG, showcasing the work of their Year 3 students. You know, it's not even final Year 3 students, so that's a lot. And it sends a signal that, you know, a lot of development, you know, is going to come concerning their educational standard and the institution as a whole. You know, seeing this alone, it shows they are prepared for the labor market.
Planning the exhibition, we need to choose a theme for an exhibition. So we came up with the theme Genesis, which means beginning. As this is the first exhibition experience we are having as a Year 2 student at the University of UNILAG, a student of UNILAG. When we pitched it to him, he said, okay, we should have a sub-theme, which is people and places. And he explained to us that, what do we understand from people and places? Like, people make places, not places make people. He told us to use Makoko as a case study. Makoko is an environment close to the place, that is a slum. So we had to have an experience of Makoko. We organized ourselves, we went there, we experienced it, we had to feel what they feel, to know what to say about the place. So everybody had to come up with a conceptual work according to their strengths. That's why we came about this exhibition we have here.
There are about 42 students participating in the show. Though they are still learning the ropes, the works of art exhibited speak volumes about their potential.
When our lecturer told us to produce works, I just thought of it that everybody was saying, oh, I'm going to paint, I'm going to draw, and I was like, let me do something different, something that people will marvel at, something old, just to think outside the box, basically. Yeah, that's the inspiration behind the medium. And I chose the colors white and brown because brown is significant to the nature of the area of Makoko. Because if you see Makoko, it's very dirty and everywhere is bad, smelling and all that. So brown is just like a significant color because basically brown is the color of dirt and mud and all that. And white signifies the innocence of the children of Makoko because that's my focus in this work. When I went to Makoko, I saw the children, I saw how happy they were. And I realized that most of them were really happy and satisfied because they don't know what happens in the outside world. Most of them have never gone beyond the border of Makoko. So they don't know anything about good electricity or good water, good roads and all that. They're just used to what they have with them and they are satisfied with that.
My work I've started at Foshe. It talks about hope in Makoko. It talks about a boy from Makoko named Foshe. Regardless where he's from, regardless the pop, regardless the Makoko place he came from, he's not tied down from where he stays. He tries to explore. He tries to go to places to achieve greatness. Why? If you look at the work, you can see some black shadow-like shape of people there. They represent the people living in Makoko. They are just there living a life where they don't think about going to the outside world. They are just there living a life. They woke up in the morning, they do the same thing they do every day without thinking about exploring and chasing their dreams.
And the title of my work is Ehingbeti. It's an Ondo word and it means the last boat stop. Ehingbeti in the Nigerian context is trying to reach out to people that are from low cost environments, low standard environments, and then they have very little hope at reaching the top. The name of the work is Ehingbeti and it speaks about a blooming sea reed that is on water. Usually reeds always grow where there's soil. And then this reed was growing in the middle of the water. You know, in life, most of us think that our growth, our fame, our prosperity depends on where we're coming from. It has very little to do with that. You know, in life, just because you're from Makoko does not mean that's your last boat stop. Just like the word Ehingbeti means. It doesn't determine where you be. It's about how far you're willing to strive to reach the top. You know, that's all about Ehingbeti.
Their lecturers are proud of what they are becoming.
The students have done very well in coming out with these works. The works show that they have gone through a period of training and they are exhibiting to bring forth what they have learned in the class. So they are, put together theory that has helped them to, come up with these great works. These works are very impressive.
The works here are really good. I mean, for them being 200 level students, they could match the standard of a lot of professionals outside. And I see them going places.
I want to appreciate parents, family, and friends who have come today to support them. It's also a morale booster for these artists in their practice to know that there's a value for what they are producing, that they don't just have the skill, that the skill they have has a value that can go to the bank and has a value that can put food on their table. So Genesis is a beginning of a new beginning for these young minds.
I am highly impressed. It shows originality, and I believe it's because they have all been allowed to express themselves the way they feel comfortable with best. I'm very, very much impressed.
Based on their school schedule, they are meant to stage an exhibition at the end of their final year.
From this outing, by God's grace, this is encouraging. The course is just a course, curatorial studies. But we have added this practice, And by next year, the 200 level student also, having seen this happen, I'm sure they will take it from. So I feel glad and I feel happy that there's a future for this country. Yes, Nigeria is down, but it's not out.
They already have a philosophy. People make places. Places don't make people. That's what they are exploring with Genesis, which marks the beginning of their spotlight.
We have more young blood online. After we are done looking at them, we'll take a moment, then Art House will continue. So do stay with us. And these are the works of art that made the cut for this week. Your works of art for this week capture a lot of issues and personalities. We have Daniel Emmanuel's pencil and charcoal on paper called The Giver's Hand. To Francis, Green with Envy, done with watercolor on cold-pressed paper. The African mask motif is an acrylic work done by James Adebanjo. The Explorer is a watercolor on canvas piece done by Femi. Then A Joyful Soul is how Daniel Akishola captures this image with acrylic on canvas. In The Goddess, Femi Adedeji worked with Procreate on iPad Pro. Frank captures the master author Vincent Chukwuemeka Ike, who died recently. In this work he calls Tribute to a Porter's Wear. It's done with pencil and white ink on chipboard. And those are the works of art you sent in this week. We do encourage you to keep them coming, and don't forget, put the relevant information beside that image.